G'day guys, this your bubbly host H2O Queen. I hope my Dream Stream family and viewers are well. If you'd like to go ahead and give me a follow on Twitch, the support would be much appreciated. My stream schedule and times are all available on my Twitch page. If you're interested, come along and join me and my fellow Dream Stream family community. There's a deck here that I have not yet featured that I played chronically a lot, and that kind of made me somewhat infamous within my community. Unfortunately, I cannot say that I am the original creator of this deck. Originally had another PUBG player, Sync. I don't think a lot of you guys would have heard of them, but they had kind of encouraged me to give this deck a go, and I'm so grateful I did. So essentially, I'll walk through the deck with you, and as I play through the match of how it works. But there are three main figures here. You've got Tapu Fini, Poliwhirl, and Mimikyu all doing their magic. Tapu Fini, of course, was the queen of the deck. You had your pawn being, in this case, was Poliwhirl, and Mimikyu was being the absolute amazing bishop or knight on the board, doing its business and trying to knock out or curse as many figures as it possibly could. I have this beautiful, beautiful match that I had when I played the tournament matches about 2 years back now. It definitely wasn't in 2019, so it would have been 2018 sometime. And I was up against my opponent, Bully. And, well, they definitely couldn't have bullied me in this match. I've definitely decimated and overpowered them with their deck. It was the obscene and very annoying Ultra Beast deck. And as you know, they're pretty much undefeatable. They were using Ampharos as their ability to return back their figures that were sent to Ultra Space. And, of course, they had their figure as well, Celestelia. And as you know, what it does with the blue wheel slides, it's a decimating deck. However, I managed to overcome it and completely shattered their team. This is going to probably be about at least a 10-15 minute video long, but it takes time to build up. It's not a fast running team. It takes time to set up, and it takes time to show how the team works. But once you can see it, I think you get the drift. But I think it is quite a long match. However, I think you'll find it quite rewarding, and I would really love to be able to showcase the deck that I personally love to run the most. Unfortunately, my deck was only in the meta for probably about 6 months before it just got inundated with other more powerful teams, but I was okay with that. I really loved my team, and just wow. Alright guys, we're going to switch over screens. Rather than me talking about it, I will fully showcase how my team works, and come on, come watch with me. So as you guys can see, this is going up against my opponent. You can see how supposedly supposed to be nightmarish or very bully-like according to the opponent, but I was the true master queen of my own team, and it was an absolute nightmare. So naturally, I started off with Tapu Fini. Not only was she god with her Eponiwish, however, because of the ability to keep rotating back through the water figures. So naturally, my opponent probably thinks that they've got this game in the bag, but will later discover they do not. So right now, I'm just being very sensible, knowing that there's going to be a surround coming through, and I'm being very aware and very cautious of that because of Celestella's ability to be able to, what's the word I'm trying to remember? Trying to shoot down opponents down the field, and it was going to bring itself back over to surround, and that's what it was ultimately trying to do, is go for a very fast win, and naturally that was not going to be happening. So, I think I'll come back up through with my next Fini, which I do. And I know that they're going to try and get the surrounds. So they're waiting, yes. their call signal, which they do get, but it doesn't really bother me too much because they'll surround my own Finny, but they'll also lose theirs. So at the end of the day, I didn't find that too much of a loss. It didn't bother me. But you can see how slow the build-up is here. However, I don't know if that was a really smart decision on my behalf to move there, because once again, I could have been cheese surrounded again or gotten the cheese when there was still coming back around. However, they just, I don't know if they weren't paying attention. However, because of Tapu Finu's ability, naturally they got the Pheromosa surrounded. So again, Homeward Light's ability, trying to bring back Celesteela onto the field. However, my magic will begin to show in a little bit. Poliwhirl really is the pawn of the chess team. It's extremely dispensable. The only purpose that Poliwhirl, or Poliwrath serves, I should say, Poliwrath serves is the confusion. So I often get Poliwhirl confused with Poliwrath. But Poliwrath is more so there for the confusion, for its ability. That's it. Because the Ultra Beast, particularly with Ampharos, or Mega Ampharos in this case, with having 2 miss slices, the likelihood of it getting that miss was very likely. But then again, you can see Homeward Light's ability working through, trying to bring back those figures, whether they're in the PC. I don't think they could come back from Ultra Space. However, still, it was annoying nonetheless. Honestly, I wasn't really too fussed what happened with my Poliwraths. I really didn't mind. My main figures I needed to stay on the field at all times was my Mimikyus. But I'm coming here up to protect. And I don't really mind if Poliwrath gets surrounded here. As I say, he's a dispensable figure. So I'm going to come up and I think I'm going to protect. No, I'm not. I'm going to come in I'm going to protect my Poliwrath, and I'm going to perhaps surround. So I'm not too sure what I'm going to be doing here next. It's been a little while since I watched this match. So right now my opponent is burning through their plates. They're hoping for their rendezvous. So they got their fly. They are still hoping for another chance. I'm fingers crossed I hold my own, and I do. So I get to protect there. Now I get to surround the next turn. Because, yeah, you don't muck around with Celesteela. You get that out ASAP. It's not something you can muck around with, in all sincerity. You just don't. So you'll be able to see the magic of what Mimikyu does once Poliwrath has performed its magic and has given a status effect to any of the figures. So naturally, with the confusion, it forces a rotation around. So right now, my Wrath's duty is just to make sure that everything is confused. So sometimes I do or don't land the curse. It can be very temperamental. However, I got lucky here. A majority of Pheromosa's wheel is white, so I knew I was going to have a really relatively large chance. I could even knock out that figure, even with a surround. So it didn't really matter either way. So now they've got to start looking after themselves and making sure that Pheromosa doesn't go, because at the moment that's their only runner on their team. So I'm going to push up with Mimikyu. So they've got to take action now to do something about their Pheromosa, otherwise they're going to lose it next turn. And I don't know why. But yeah, they're going to lose their Pheromosa. I'm not too sure if they're going to bring it back through an ability, so I'll see. I refuse to attack there because of going to go back to its regular form, so I don't do it. that was a smart move on behalf of my opponent, going for the Mimikyu because of its ability. It won't get knocked out on the first turn. So, yeah. But honestly, I'm not too fussed about the paralyzation of my team. But I'm going to go in here and get the confusion, although it's very hard to confuse this figure. But the flies are still really nifty for the opponent to get. At least it'll be anything but Rendezvous. So I'm not too fussed with how that goes. So I'm not too sure what my decision is here. So I'm moving back my Mimikyu. I'm not going to attack. They've got no more plates left active. They've burnt all of theirs way too fast. So that fly, they're going to be landing fly a lot. Which is nice for me. See, I get wins like that. Trying to get a curse onto some of their figures could prove difficult to say the least, but not impossible. They would have to land stun poison in order for me to get that. And I'd have to land on my curse. So now they're going after my Finnies, which is fine. So I get the Pony Wish here. So I got rid of that Celesteela. That completely handicaps their team now. So I've now activated Phantom Sphere. I haven't discussed this earlier because I wanted you guys to see it in action. So what that means now is because if I have, oh, here we go. Now I've got a curse. If I have any ghost figures on my entry points, on my own corners, I can bring back through my own Mimikyus again, even with my entry points surrounded. And as long as I've got my Finnies on the ground, I can on the field again. I can do the same with my Poliwraths. So all in all, this team can always cycle through, and it's really powerful and really incredible. So there's nothing much that can be done here. I just have to burn a turn. So naturally, I come through, and I'm going to have to put on my Mimikyu onto my goal, which is fine. So I get my Muddy Water activates, and I push them back towards the entry point, which is fine. So I don't have any more double chances or anything like that. Now, so I don't double chances anymore. Max revives is what I meant. Now I'm going to use my double chance, and I'm going to try and get the curse onto the Ampharos. So I'm not going to re-roll, as you know. What blue does, blue overrides everything unless it becomes a miss. In this case, there's no active abilities that make it do that. But my opponent is going to be quite determined to try and clear off my entry points. However, I'm in a really good position right now. Unless, even if they land their blues, it's not a big deal to me. But I'm going to just come back and somewhat protect my entry points. I want to just keep cycling through some figures, which is fine. But I get a knockout there, which is great. So my Pony Wish there is good. I just need to try and level out the playing field a little bit more. I either need to get some more curses and definitely exclude some figures, which in this case I get another curse, or I need to start cycling back through some of my figures and start also knocking out some more of my opponent's figures into their PC. So now they're going into more of a protective stance. And now, honestly, I just got to hope for my white attack onto one of its wheel slices to knock it out. I just keep landing curse, which is fine. Anything but a knockout here at this point. So unfortunately, I couldn't cycle back through any of my figures, even if I wanted to, because or if I had another Mimikyu in there, I couldn't. But that's all right. Honestly, I'm not too fussed how this plays out for now. I'm pretty secure. The only thing I'm worried about right now is this Electivire. However, I was fortunate here just to get that very small percentage of a curse. So right now, actually I think 3 of their free figures are now cursed. So now I'm just focusing on clearing up my entry point. I need to get that cleared. And right now I'm not too concerned right now if I do or don't get knocked out, because in my PC I've got 2 watered figures right now. Long as Finny stays on the board, I'm fine. And honestly, I'm probably pretty happy that they've knocked it out, because it's going to make it easier bait for me with Ampharos. Again, doesn't matter to me if they steal my entry point or not. I can continue to move up for now. But I think I'm going to play smart and try and clear up some of my, I'm going to try and clear up, unless I try and just push upwards. So yeah, now they're going to get the confusion, which is going to be really bad for Electivire. Again, I really am not too fussed. My Mimikyu is still in prime position. It's still got its ability activated, which is amazing. So I think this is a time where I just start looking after my goal and making sure that I can knock out as many of their figures as I can. For now, pretty much every single figure on their team is cursed. I think I'm going to try and I'll try and exclude their Ampharos, or one of their figures at least. See now, because the see here in this case as well, I forgot about that with the Phantom Sphere. Because these have status effects now as well, I can bring back the Mimikyus. And this is the beauty of this deck, because it's completely cyclable. You can keep going through the cycle all the time. This is going to be really hard to pit up against. I have to really get fortunate and get the miss. Because they're all very strong figures here. So as you can see, most of the time invested here is just trying to make sure that I'm protecting my goal. I'm not going to make any rash movements right now. And I really can't do much right now. I just have to keep my 10 toes and fingers crossed that nothing too crazy happens here. So this would have been perfect timing if I landed one of my white slices, but it didn't work out that way. So for now, I just got to try and play it smart. Because my Mimikyus are on the verge of being next knocked out next turn, I've got to be very careful. So if they had that white slice, I would have landed into their miss. But unfortunately, they got the safe roll there. So Mimikyu is very weak in its attack. So yeah, I've just got to be very, very careful. This is why when working with Mimikyus, you can't always rely on its ability, but I'll be alright next turn, so that's good. We got a double miss here. So now this is more of a waiting game now. It's just a lot of patience. So for now, my opponent is very focused on my entry point, and because they've still got one figure in their PC, it doesn't really help me, and because I have excluded one of my Finnies, I've only got one left now. I have to be very careful with the way that I play too, and Poliwrath is not that much of a strong attacker either. But I think something here soon does end up breaking that allows me to move upwards. or continue forwards. Here we go. This is the roll. This is it. So, phew, off it goes. That's been excluded now. There's no way for it to come back unless through an ability, which I don't think that opponent does. So that's fine by me. So that is the magic of this deck, and I think you guys can see it. So now my opponent is very desperate now to have something happen. I don't think I use it here. No, there's no need to. I'm not in a do or die situation. Can't use call signal because it's been excluded. And this one's off to the Ultra Beasts, I'm aware. However, now they are significantly down, and I'm just going to rip for it and go straight for their goal. That's it. Now that's it. They're done. It's a weight win. So yeah, that is such a pretty cool way. And that is pretty much the best and prime example I can ever show of this deck. It's very rare I can so fluidly be able to get a deck to work like that. However, I really hope you enjoyed this content as much as I do, and if you did, please make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and please subscribe. All your support is appreciated. And thank you so much for you guys for helping me to reach 450 subscribers. I am very thrilled and very stoked for how far I've come. 50 more subs and I'm halfway there, guys. Yeah, I'm just really appreciative of everyone's support, and yeah, I'll keep and make sure you leave a comment below, because I'm really reliant on your comments, because I haven't been making these videos as much because not having any comments doesn't encourage me to make more of these videos. And I really do enjoy doing these throwbacks, I guess you could say, but at the same time it gets really difficult doing these if I get if I don't get any feedback letting me know what you guys want to see and what you guys think of the video. So please do give this video a comment and a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. So I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for your support. This is your bubbly host, H2O Queen, over and out. Peace, love, light, enjoy the rest of your day. Take care, guys, and all the best.